Facebook friends and family, I am back. How are you guys doing today? I hope that everyone is doing wonderful and swell per usual on this Good Friday afternoon. It is January the 16th, 2026, and it is currently 2:07 p.m. here in Detroit, Michigan. I wanted to do this real quick. I was about to make me some coffee, but I'm gonna make it when I'm done with this. I had just seen a reel with Drewski, and the POV was the reason why some of us are deaf now is because we went to school in cars sounding like this. And y'all know my headphones are, I don't have my headphones in, so I was just looking at the reel. But it was this raggedy truck that I'm pretty sure probably sounded a little bit louder or whatever. And it was making me think of when I used to go to Weston Technical Academy, and I had moved with my grandma after my mom had died and stuff. And my grandma had this truck, and it was so raggedy. And Denzel used to call it a bastard, because if you know the definition of bastard, it means to come from two different parents, two different races type of thing. Like a mixed breed is a bastard. And she had a Trailblazer. The truck was a Trailblazer, one of the old Trailblazers. But it had like, she had a car accident in it. Well, one time, my uncle ran into the back of it and bust out the windows and stuff because his brakes had ran out. And speaking of, he had called my grandma, like, "Mom, I need you to ride in front of me because my brakes went out on my work truck and I don't want to run into nobody else, but I need to get my truck home," because he didn't have AAA or nothing at the time. So we had went to go. She had woke me and Denzel up. We had to get in this fucking car and go pick up my Uncle Maurice and ride in front of him all the way home. Now, I was in the front seat, in the passenger seat, and Denzel was in Denzel was in the back seat. And we had to get on the freeway. And you know how you get on the freeway or whatever, and either you're going to go down the ramp or you're coming up off the exit, so you're going up the ramp. We had got to the point where we had to go on the freeway, so we were coming like down the ramp, coming onto the freeway. And my uncle work van, which looked like the Scooby-Doo mystery van, except for it was white, it was flying behind us, and mind you, his brakes didn't work. So my grandma was trying to slow down or whatever so that, you know, we wouldn't no cars get in between his van and her truck. But being that he didn't have no brakes, he couldn't stop. And we had to stop because it was cars in front of us. So his truck kept running in the back of my grandma's truck. And Denzel was in the back seat just screaming. Oh my God, it's so funny talking about it now. But when it was happening, we was scared as fuck. Because even I was in the passenger seat scared as fuck. My grandma was driving. She was scared as fuck. My uncle probably was scared as fuck too. But he kept ramming into the back of the van, and Denzel was just in the back of the car screaming, and he had finally hit it so hard one time that the back window had bust out. And the trucks, you know how you lift trucks trunk up, he had hit it so bad that the back was messed up. So my grandma had to get all that replaced. And you know, Trailblazers and Tahoes are both made by Chevy. So she had an old Trailblazer truck, but the trunk was a Tahoe piece from the old Tahoes. So Denzel used to call her truck a bastard truck. He like, "We gotta go get dropped off at school in this bastard ass truck. It's half Tahoe, half Trailblazer." And that was just so funny to me. And then I remember one time my cousin Naya had moved back up here from Georgia, and we had got our own cars. We grown now. We done moved out. And Naya was like, "What's the best car we ever had growing up?" I'm like, "Shit, we ain't had no good cars till we got our own." And I never really had a raggedy car since I've been an adult. I would go without a car first before I get a raggedy one. I normally had new cars, like especially if I bought it on my own, like I bought newer cars, or I would go and get a car note, whether I was going to pay that bitch or not. I like to drive in style. And that's why I'm hearing you about to get a new luxurious car. But anyway, Denzel used to call the Trailblazer a Tahoe, and it was so loud and raggedy. And when we went to Weston Technical Academy or whatever, I remember one day, this speaking of liking Sean, and nobody knew that me and Sean liked each other or nothing like that, or whatever. I remember one time I was selling candy at school. I'm here. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. Anyway, it was my mom's wedding, and she used to buy me candy to sell at school, and I would be able to save the money, or I would go back and give it to her, or whatever. And I was selling candy, and I remember kids being kids. One day, somebody had snatched my candy bag, and all of my suckers and stuff had fell, and all the kids had started grabbing my suckers and all of the candy, and they stole it, and they didn't pay me for it, and I was really upset, and I was crying. I'm like, I don't know if my mama gonna be mad at me or not, because usually I take her back the money. Like, her wedding coming up, we was buying little extra things, and I was a little kid, mind you. I was only like 12 at the time. I'm like, I was pissed myself. And then I didn't know if my mama was gonna be pissed at me either, so I was crying. And speaking of, Sean had came over there. He like, what's wrong? Everybody went to go get him, like, you need to talk to your friend. She over there crying, blase splee. But it's like certain people knew I liked him, but you know, a lot of people didn't, or whatever. And he had came over there. He like, it's gonna be okay, blase splee. He was always like my little hero. People didn't even know. Like, he always made me feel better, or whatever. So he like, it's gonna be okay, blah blah blah. But anyway, speaking of the raggedy truck, one day I had one of my friends, Brianna Toby. She had my grandma had put up, and I like Brianna, by the way. I never had no problem with her, and I haven't talked to her in years. Actually, it's still no beef or nothing. I just haven't talked to her in years, since like middle school, for real. But Brianna was my friend in middle school, and one day my grandma came to pick me up, and she pulled up, and it was like the end of the day. Everybody had got picked up, so we like the last ones out there. LaShawn out there with all his popular friends, and you know, first of all, Sean was really popular. He had all the latest clothes, all the latest Jordans. His family had money. His cousins was popular. He was just popular, and I was quiet. It's like we were total opposites. So they all outside, and my grandma pulling up to pick me up all late in this raggedy ass motherfucking car. I'm seeing the twins off of ATL, how their mama was all loud to ghetto. She had the raggedy car that they couldn't stand to get out of when she went to the skating rink. So me and Sean was outside. Actually, this is the first time he kissed me too. We was outside, and my grandma pulled up, and Brianna told me like, Aaliyah, your grandma here. And then she just pulled up in this raggediest, loudest car or whatever. That was so funny to me. So seeing that reel with Drewski just reminded me of that or whatever. But yes, me and LaShawn were two total opposites. He was very popular. He was like a jockey, and I was like a geek, per se. I was quiet. I was to myself. And I still look the same. Actually, I just was looking at our Western Technical Academy shots, or you know how they do the school yearbooks or whatever from when I was in the 6th grade. I still look the fucking same. Literally, I got a baby face if you ask me. But I'm a little bit chubbier in the face, and I was chubby in the face back then. But anywho, Brianna was like, girl, your grandma outside, your grandma here, blah blah blah. That was just so funny to me. So seeing that just reminded me of that. And it also made me think of like growing up poor or whatever, or growing up without having, again, my mama died when I was 14. My grandma was sick as fuck. She was on a fixed income. She was on dialysis, legs amputated. She wasn't making no money. So I grew up poor or whatever. But growing up poor will really show you some shit. It will teach you a lot, and it will most definitely teach you who your real friends are. Because when you grow up poor, you don't have much. You're either going to have people that talk about you because you're poor, or you're going to have people that want to help you. Like, oh, well, you know, you don't got that. Come to my house. My mama do this, or my mama do that. Oh, your mama died, this, that, and the other. And that's how my friend Yasmin Melson was. Yasmin was a very good friend to me. My mama had died. My grandma was sick. So I would go on Finkel and LaSure and spend the night at Yasmin's house. I would go to school every day from there and everything. She was a very good friend to me. And her grandma's name was Sarah too. And Sarah was a very good woman to me. I would go over there. We would go to Sam's Club. She would buy us a whole bunch of food for the week. I'd stay at Yasmin's house the whole week, go to school, go back home on the weekends when my grandma's car was messed up. So Yasmin was a very good friend to me in middle school. And then I had the ones who wasn't. And I ain't saying Brianna wasn't a good friend. I'm just saying the difference in between friendships and things like that. So it was cool. Like being poor, I'm glad that I grew up poor. Because being poor also taught me so much. Like when you live through a struggle, you learn how to do shit. And my friend Alexandria too, she used to be like, girl, how did you come up with that? Or how did you think to do that? I would have never thought to do that. It's because I grew up poor. And when you grow up poor, you got to use your brain differently. So I appreciate the struggle. It's not nothing I would change about it. Like even my mother dying when I was 14, it taught me to be so different. Because I look at a lot of people now who had their parents, and maybe let's say their parents are still alive, or their parents ain't died till they was already well into their 30s. We are totally different. You grew up with a parent. I had to teach myself shit with no guidance. I grew up with my grandmother. She was older too. She was sick as well. I was damn near taking care of her. So I taught myself a lot. And the difference between me and a lot of people is like, damn, I be having to say like, damn, your mama ain't teach you shit. I be thinking that sometimes, like, damn, your mama ain't teach you shit. You had her for 33 years. Only had my mama for 14 years. You act like you don't know shit. But it's because some people, they be so dependent on their parents. But when your parent die, when you young, you get thrown out to the street, thrown out to the wolves, especially if you didn't come from a 2-parent household. And I didn't. I ain't had my daddy. My mama died when I was 14. My grandma was older. I'm like, shit, I was out here. I had a job when I was 14. I was driving when I was 14. I was driving a car. That's why I was able to go to my boyfriend's house, pick him up from school. I became an adult when I was a teenager. I had my daughter when I was 17. I was pregnant at 16. But I had a job and shit. I just lived with my grandma. You get what I'm saying? So it really taught me to be grown at a young age. And now, no, I don't want those things for my children. Like, that's why I pretty much let them be free, because I know what it's like to have to do something. I have to figure this out. I have to do this. It's a must that this go this way. Well, no, life, you should be free to live. I wasn't free to live. I was too busy learning because my teacher died. So I appreciate the struggle. I appreciate everything that I went through, the tests, the trials, the tribulations. And I'm telling you, being poor and struggling and going through shit will really show you who your real friends are and how people will talk about you. And you know, real recognize real. Real people not going to talk about you. The people who are supposed to be in your life, they're going to want to help you, not talk about you, not try to make themselves look better than you. And that's what my friends taught me. My old friends who I don't talk to no more and shit, I'm even glad they came in my life. The ones that betrayed me, the ones that talked about me so bad, I really appreciate them. Because those same people who I thought was my friend, but they turned out to be Judases in my life, I needed those people. They showed me what real friends are. That's the same thing about relationships. You can date a guy, vice versa. A man can date a woman. And, you know, dating a fucked up person will really make you appreciate somebody who really loved you for real. Like, damn, he dogged me out. He was talking about me. He was cheating on me. He was having babies on me. This person, though, get out of the kitchen. Y'all dog food should be here in a minute. This person, though, they gentle with me. They listen to me. They're willing to learn me. They hear my problems, and instead of judging me, they're willing to work with me. Real recognize real. And a real person who's supposed to be in your life is going to change your life for the better. Not belittle you. Not talk about you behind your back. And that's why they say I want friends who defend me when I'm not in the room. Not friends who talk about me when I'm not in the room. I want a nigga who gonna love me in my face and behind my back. Not in my face, we all lovey-dovey, but behind my back, you a bitch. You running your mouth and you talking about me. Because that's not real love. Those are not real friends or family members. So I appreciate the struggle because it recognizes real. It shows you who real is. And I appreciate the hate because it shows you who's real and who's actually supposed to be in your life. So I was really thinking about that. And people probably like, oh, Sean didn't want to be around her because she wasn't popular, she wasn't this, she wasn't that. But it wasn't even that. I'm just a quiet person. I didn't want people in my business. Even if he did feel that way, I didn't want people in my business. But you see, people still was in my business. Go get Sean. Tell him to come up here. I live this or I live that. It's like he's always been my protector. I'm here like Archangel Michael. So that was how that was in middle school. And that's so funny to me. But speaking of raggedy cars and going to school and getting picked up and shit like that. But yeah, I remember telling Naya, I'm like, the best car we had is when I became an adult and bought my own car. So yeah. That's funny to me. But real love. I also met this guy. His name is Deshaun. And when I had met Deshaun a few years ago, well, shit, it's been almost over 7 years now when I had met him, though. And he told me, like, my uncle always told me when I meet a girl that I like, tell her that I'm a janitor. And I'm like, why? He was like, because most girls don't want to talk to janitors. He's like, never meet a woman and let her know that you got money or that you know, well off, because a lot of people like to use you for your money. So he was like, my uncle says to tell people that I'm a janitor. Or he will go around and tell people that he's a janitor. And he was like, but he got real good money. And now I understand that. You know, most of the time people will be like, well, what do you do for a living? And you just want to be able to tell them that you like making 6, 7, 8 figures, or you a CEO, or you're an entrepreneur. But people take advantage of that. But tell them you a janitor or a single mom. I'm not working right now. And some people gonna be like, oh, bitch, you got 5 kids and you ain't working. You fuck that hoe. But then you're gonna have some people to be like, how is she making it then? It's something about her. I want to still give her a try. I want to still give her a chance. Again, real recognizing real. Somebody gonna judge you and stereotype you right off bail. I ain't fucking with no hoe that says she ain't got no job. And then some, they're going to sit down and actually hear your story. And those are going to be the people that bring you up instead of knock you down. So I get that. Tell them you're a janitor. Tell them you ain't got no job. Even though a man, do it to a woman. Oh, I'm in between jobs right now. You going to see a real bitch. Like, oh, he ain't got no money? Fuck him. Or, you in between jobs right now? I understand that. I've been there before too. I done had my car repoed before. I done been without a car before. I done been in between jobs before. I've been evicted before. I've been down on my luck before. You're going to have a woman who understands and want to bring you up. Like, well, how can we fix this? Even if y'all both together don't got much. That's what I be saying about bitches and shit. Like, sometimes we have an advantage, especially if we got kids. Oh, it's tax time. You know, you at least about to get $10,000. But a man know how to invest. A lot of times men know how to invest and hustle in other ways that women don't. Women are hustlers too. That's not what I'm saying, because I just said it. I'm a hustler. I'm a hustler, homie. That's how I survive. But people just don't know that. It's not your fucking business. I ain't a prostitute. That's all you need to know. So, tell them. And then see what y'all can come up with. Like, oh, it's tax time. I'm probably going to get $11,000 back. I got an EIN, an LLC. What can you help me with? You got people in your family who are lawyers, people in your family who got this, got that. Maybe we can come together, put our money together, put our ideas together, use this LLC, use this EIN. You got people who know how to write grants and stuff like that. Help me, help you, and we helping each other. That's teamwork making the dream work, and real recognizing real. But you got to be on the same frequency and equally yoked. And you see, God don't bless mess, but he does bless what he put together. 2 people can come together fucked up financially and become millionaires together, because it's their mindset and being equally yoked and trying to balance each other out instead of trying to belittle and bash each other. So you have to find your person, find your soul tribe, find your friend group. And that's a part of life. Those people who gave up on you when you was going through was never meant to be in your life. Those people who talked about you behind your back were never meant to be in your life. And that's what I've learned out of my 35 years of living. And it's all been worth it. So I thank God for the struggle, the times that I didn't have. I'm hearing the haves and the have-nots. But this whole time I've been gaining knowledge. And those same people who talked about me, belittled me, was embarrassed to be around me, it's the same people that wish they can kiss my motherfucking ass and lick my pussy today. But they can keep kissing the ass. This pussy is off limits. So yes, I appreciate that. Play dumb. It's all about playing dumb. But knowing who you are. It's going to be people out here that want you to feel like you're not shit. Play dumb around those people and know your worth the whole time. I love you guys.